All right, got it. Okay, let's talk about not putting Brad in jail today. That's the theme of the class. Everybody goes to jail if we don't submit our paperwork, right? The required documents. It's very important that we submit the right documents, we get all the required documents, and we do it in a timely manner for just a number of reasons. Mostly because it's the right thing to do, right? Is that the golden rule? I don't know.
Boy Scouts, I
The
don't
go-
know.
is it the- Or is that pleasing? I don't know what the golden rule is. That could be.
Do
one.
unto others.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Okay, that's the one. So let's talk about what that looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and just open up a opportunity that I have going on here. Find something with some paperwork involved. All right, so first things first is you started your opportunity, right? I'm not gonna talk about, like, I could go through the steps of starting one, but I think at this point, everyone on here is comfortable with starting an opportunity with a buyer or a seller, what that looks like. So for this, we're just gonna talk about, how to get compliant, how to upload documents correctly, and then some tips and tricks on how to make it easier to upload those documents in terms of like splitting them and so forth. What it looks like if, say, you uploaded documents and a deal falls through. What do we do then?
Mhm.
Do we delete the documents? So we'll go through that too. First things first, in terms of compliance, starting on the details page of your opportunity, we have the details, buyer profile, documents, all those things at the top. So on the details page, we have, I wish they'd make it darker, the little pencil here, but once you're under contract and have a ratified contract, the opportunity name, which is the very top of the general information box, it needs to be updated with the address of the property. Okay, that's how we identify it for on Brian's side for the MCA. He's the one who pays you. It makes it much easier to find these things. If things are easier to find, people get paid easier. And I think we can all agree that's a good thing. What's her name? Marcia Stewart?
Marcia Stewart.
Marcia
Martha
Stewart.
Stewart.
Martha Stewart. I was thinking of Marcia in our office. So we'll say Marcia Stewart. Wait, is her last name Stewart too?
Yeah, Martha.
Hey, it is Marcia.
Marcia
That's
what?
Marcia.
Marcia Stewart.
Martha is the celebrity.
Martha
Yeah,
is,
but your last name is Stewart also though, isn't it,
it's
Marcia?
spelled the same way, correct. Mhm.
That's funny.
I've gotten it all my life since I've been married.
It's a good thing. That's what I was getting at.
You're you're the star in our hearts, Marcia.
Yeah, it's.
That's-
You're Martha's like long lost cousin, Marcia.
Really?
Oh, I gotta go.
This is going really well. So anyway, opportunity name, make it the address. For a buyer, you're not gonna know the address until you're under contract, obviously, but for a listing, unless it's a trailer park, you know where it is, right? It's not going anywhere. Put the address as the opportunity name, okay? And the rest of this stuff is not really important for compliance reasons. It is important, but for compliance reasons, we're just gonna focus on the opportunity name. Update it, hit the save button at the bottom, and then instead of it saying this up here, the default, it'll say the address, okay? Second thing, the property over here, this box, property box, also needs to be updated once you know that. It would be nice if it's synced over from somewhere else, but it doesn't. So, but it is an autofill box. Once you start typing in the location, so we can start typing in the address, 46191. It starts to populate it, and you just click on it. It takes literally a half a second. So make sure those two things are updated. That's the first thing you want to make sure when you start a deal, is get the details tab filled out to completion. And that'll help on the DocuSign side, fill in more information on the contracts as well. It'll auto-populate more things there. Okay, so over to documents. Once you get over to documents, it's not gonna look like this right off the bat. You're gonna have a little black arrow pointing down right here. And then you're gonna have to choose a few different options. Most of you are gonna have, these are gonna be residential Virginia contracts or deals. So you're gonna choose residential VA. It could be that it's a rental. So it would be a rental VA or landlord VA, tenant or so forth. And almost no one here is gonna do commercial, but there is a commercial option. And the reason that's important is it chooses the correct required documents that you need to have. I'm still working on, I need to get with Brian, but how it's supposed to work is when we have a required document, we should be able to have it set up to where once you open up your room, and right now it says go to transaction, and this happens after you click the start a transaction button, it turns into go to transaction. How it should work is once you click on start a transaction, all the required documents should automatically pop up in your DocuSign room as available to start using. As in, for example, you wouldn't have to go to the add button and add your buyer agreement. You wouldn't have to add your ABA. All that stuff would already be populated in the room. So I'm hoping to get that set up. Trying to get some help from the RTT to get that set up and make it a little easier for you guys. One less step you have to worry about. So stay tuned. I'll let you know when it happens. But that should make it easier. But as you can see, we have these 3 different folders here: consultation, under contract, and closed, right? So these are, just consider these folders, right? Each one of these folders has required docs that the market center is wanting to see, and by market center, I mean Brad, is wanting to see from you to review, okay? And as you can see on this deal, I've already uploaded all my required documents and I've submitted it, and it says submitted. It hasn't been approved yet. If it said approved, it would be in green and say approved. Or it'd be in red and say rejected, I believe, or it would be in purple and say, oh God, where's the purple one? Like a question or something like that. Because you guys can go back and forth with comments here. So Brad can leave a comment and be like, hey, you uploaded the wrong one. Your buyers didn't actually sign this one. What are you doing? I already says it. And look at this, you can use an @ symbol to mention an individual and send a notification. How does that work? Okay, that's new. Oh, look at that. You could @ Bradley, and I bet it would ping on his command that he has a note.
Ah, okay.
That is pretty cool. That's new. I haven't seen that. I didn't see that in any of the notes recently. That's a pretty interesting one. So if you want to add a comment in there, it should ping him if Brad's checking his command on a daily basis, which he definitely does. He told me he does. This is my favorite class. This is very boring stuff, so I'm trying to spice it up a little bit with bad jokes. But so anyway, the actual upload process is very simple, and you want to go folder by folder and focusing on the required documents, obviously. And you may have documents that aren't necessarily required and don't even fit into some of these categories. And for example, that could be like, let's say you're doing a deal with another agent in the office, right? I don't necessarily have a spot here for a designated disclosure agreement, which is what you have to sign to let both parties know on both sides that, yes, we're with the same brokerage, we have the same broker, there's no well, you're agreeing that you're okay with that situation, even though there could potentially be a conflict, but I'm representing you and that agent's representing the seller. So this is you agreeing to say that's okay with you, right? And this isn't necessarily one of those items here, but we can still add that document by using these 3 little dots over here and just choosing add document, right? And if that's already in DocuSign, it'll search through our DocuSign room for that document. If we have it, we can select it, or we can upload it directly from our computer just by changing this from DocuSign to my computer. So that leads me to my next point of how we actually upload documents, which is a couple different ways. We can do it from DocuSign. Now, I do understand, Marcia, I don't know if you're still using Dotloop or not. You can connect your Dotloop account and it should work in a very similar way. Essentially, all of these things just replace DocuSign with Dotloop, and it should work the same way. It should search through your Dotloop loop for those documents, it'll say .loop or my computer, and then you'll search through it and upload. Right.
Yeah, we'll be transitioning back to DocuSign. It's something I've been using. What .loop will do is allow you to do 10 free transactions until you decide to purchase them. That's what I've been working with right now. So
I say rip off the Band-Aid.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yep.
We have to rip it off fast, not slow. 'Cause it hurts. You get slow. Well, when you have like hairy legs like I do with this. So once we upload, these different folders have different permissions in a way, in terms of what we can do with documents that have been uploaded or not, right? So once they, so we can update or print this document, and that's because I've already submitted it. If I haven't submitted it, when I'm in the consultation phase, I should be able to delete that document still, okay? In the consultation phase. In the under contract phase, we only have the ability to, I think, replace or update. Need to upload a document just to be sure though. Let's just. So select on room docs, and this is just an example of how you're going to upload. Let me go in there and put a sales contract in. And I'll show you what I do. I need to do that anyway, so I can show you how to split documents, because that's a really awesome feature too. All right, let me just add a sales contract. Residential. Oh, residential sales contract, right?
Mhm.
There we go. Let's have that. All right, let's go back. We're going to include forms. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to upload that residential sales contract, right? Just by choosing the drop down. Let's give a refresh. It might not have synced yet. If you change something on one end, it doesn't get changed on the other. A quick refresh usually takes care of that. There it is. Okay. So we're going to upload that there, right? Because that's the required spot for it. And then, so then we have this option, but I haven't submitted it, so I can still remove it, right? So once you submit something, you can't remove it anymore. So then you're like, well, I went under contract and I submitted it, but now it fell apart because the other agent, terrible. So what do we do? What you have to do is you have to get a whole new set of checklist items, and we're going to leave all those other items there, and we click this under contract button and we add a version. And all you have to do is add a version and leave it under contract V2. You're going to create a new version, and then it clears everything out. I'm just going to remove it. So it's just going to be, it's going to clear it out. It's going to be a whole new checklist items. And then you can go through and start uploading all the new ones for the new house that you're under contract for. And then you submit for those, right? So all we did there was this. So the case was we went under contract, 2 weeks into closing, something happened, fell apart. We're starting to look for another house. Now we find a new house, we're under contract with that one, but I have all these docs, like how to replace them. Well, you can't replace them is the answer. But what you do is you click the under contract button, add a version, and then it clears out and you have a whole new set of checklist items. And then you can upload all the new documents to version 2 and then submit to Brad again for compliance. So question from Peter.
Small point. So looking at this screen, there's no indication that you're in version 2 or version 4 or whatever.
So if I did create it, it would say under contract V2.
Okay,
So if you want to change the name of it to make it look different,
yeah,
I mean, that's up to you. The V2 should point it up, but it will say V2 once you change it to V2
Okay.
version 2.
and I only ask from a buyer client or for a buyer client in this area where you've got a bunch of failed offers, right? So
Yeah.
you got all of these things that start adding up.
So this dropdown, I just have the under contract. Let me just
Yeah.
add one. I mean, it won't mess it up. I'm just gonna create a new version. So as you can see here,
Yeah,
now it says V2,
right,
right? So we know, and I can go back and we have all of the data there from the under contract one,
Yeah.
even though there's nothing there anymore. Right, so now we have our under contract and our version 2. Make sure that you don't accidentally add one and then you're putting one, some of the stuff from the, like, don't have one contract between 2 different versions and submit to both sides. I don't even know what'll happen. I think it creates a black hole, I think, is what they told me. I don't even know why I said it, so now you might do it. So we're all in danger now. So that's how you would create a new version. And you have a question, Marcia?
No.
Okay. All right, so in my experience, it is best practice to, once you have your buyer's consult, you put the expectation, I was like, well, this is what we do to work together now. I'm gonna just send you a couple documents to get our relationship started. It's gonna be a buyer's doc, it's gonna be an ABA with all the different awesome vendors that we work with, some little, the useful information pamphlet, essentially letting you know that it's buyer beware, right? Especially in this market. It's buyer beware. And it's our cyber notice, letting you know that something could happen. Don't wire money without talking to 10 people first. Like, just confirm it. Wiring can be easier, but let's just make sure we're on the same page. And this is just letting you know to do that. So I'm gonna send you all these documents, and this is what kind of like just bonds our relationship. But it's a walk-away contract, right? It's like, if you're not liking my service, I'll tear it up. You can go our separate ways. No harm, no foul. I'm not gonna charge you anything for that. But this is what we need to, be in business together, and for me to, be your fiduciary for the deal, right? So you're gonna send them all those items, hopefully pretty soon after that consultation, like I did with this buyer. They sign it the next day after we had our meeting for coffee. They sent it to me, and then the day they sent it to me, they're uploaded and ready for Brad to submit. He hasn't looked at it yet, probably not because there's something under contract, but I just don't want people to be waiting until there's a check in the office to be uploading all these documents. And then obviously I have no problems helping people because, I want to make sure people get paid in a timely manner, but it just causes more stress for everybody, right? So let's just, you get something signed, you get under contract, you upload the documents, just give yourself, give yourself checklist items, add some checklist items to help you out to manage some of these deals. If you're having an issue where you just have so many deals going on that you can't handle it all, we have awesome compliance coordinators, not compliance coordinators, but contract coordinators. And I don't know, have you worked with them before,
yeah,
Peter?
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
great.
they'll do all this for you. So this class isn't even for you, really. I don't even know why you're here, but it's so you can check their work. That's why. You should be able to do the things that you're telling someone else to do, I think. Someone told me that once. So, but the moral of the story is, like, let's be timely, and to be timely, you have to know what you're doing, right? So, we got our consultation stuff signed by our buyers or our sellers, uploaded to Brad. We got under contract. We got a ratified date on that page 12 of the contract, and we got that uploaded along with our residential property disclosure. The big one here, the new required item that wasn't required last year, was the EMD. It's now a required item. What you're going to want for that is some type of proof from the title company or the settlement agent, whatever, that you have delivered the earnest money deposit. It could be an email notification. It can be a receipt. If you're using Zocom, I think they just literally send you this little digital receipt when you use the Zocom app. Something saying that you did what it said in the, what is that, paragraph 4 of the contract, I think, 5, the EMD delivery. I can't remember. It's one of the two. The second page. That's going to be a required item. That's just, it was a new initiative that Brad put up because I guess there was some questions as to whether someone did that or not. And we just have to be sure that's being done because, right, you have 5 days for the board, but you have 3 days according to Brad, right? So that's the office policy. And then you'll notice all these optional ones. These are just different cases where you might need a rebate letter, sales contingencies. This would be any type of addendum. So different items, but like I said, if you don't find that item as one of the forms, it's like a land form, something that, not obscure, but not a normal residential deal, then you can go through and click the 3 dots, add a document, a one-off document, and it'll add it at the bottom, right? And then closing. When you go to closing, you're going to get most likely an ALTA statement. Hopefully, you might not get the countersigned one by both parties right at closing. So just make sure to follow up with the title company or the settlement agent and get that ALTA statement signed by both parties, and then that's what you're gonna attach to the closing documents.
Yeah.
We put closing documents because there's still situations out there where they're HUD ones type settlement documents or closing documents. So we're vague with it, but closing documents. But what we mean by that is the ALTA statement, okay? And then our office is gonna go ahead. I can't see here because I can't see here, but the DA right there at the bottom is going to be what the office uploads. So that's not your responsibility. Right. But each one of these folders needs to have stuff uploaded and submitted respectively. So upload it, you submit that folder, we get our closing doc, we go to closing, handshakes all around, then we submit to the market center. When to do your offers and commissions? When to do the commissions? So when do you guys think you should do the commissions?
Same time.
Well, should it be right when you get a contract ratified? Should it be what's the timing of when you guys think that the commission tab should be filled out?
I think you start it with a ratified contract and then complete it at closing.
Yeah, so the office policy is once you get the contract ratified, then you're doing the commissions tab. Like Peter said, I would probably have it all filled out, ready to go, and I wouldn't submit maybe until like a couple weeks before, but I would still be ready to submit pretty not on the day of closing. I know you don't want to jinx yourself or whatever, but it does provide valuable information to the market center about commissions that are coming into the office. Okay, so it is the policy to go ahead and submit that commission pretty much at ratification date. Go ahead and submit that within a week of ratifying the contract. Go ahead and submit that commission to the office. Brian can always kick those back if something changes, right? So if well, shoot, something came in way low and now I just I want to get the deal done, so I got to offer a rebate to my buyer to make sure this thing closes. So your commission's going to change in that case, right? So Brian can kick it back to you. We can open it back up again. We can update the commissions to reflect that new rebate, and now the commissions is updated. But along the way, your buyer or the office still knows what to expect, right? So the actual policy is on ratification within a week of ratified date. Let's go ahead and get that commission, the offer put in there, and then the commissions tab submitted. It's very easy. You just need to know what percentage you're getting paid. Hopefully you know what percentage you're getting paid. It's going to be, I don't even want to go through all the things that are in my head right now, but you know you're going to get paid. You know what the sale date, you know what the sales price is. Get it calculated, right? And it does all those things for you. So you just have to know those 2 things, put the closing date in there, and you're going to go ahead and submit it. There's a couple different items in there as to if it's a referral, then you're paying another agent. We can get into that when we do a commissions class, but this is a compliance issue, is just making sure within a week of ratified date, we have that commission submitted, okay? So really, I'm just gonna open it up for questions, because that's kind of all the things with compliance and what could happen in different cases where things fall apart. You need to upload a new set of compliance checklists. We went over that. How to upload them. You're making sure it says DocuSign if that's where you're getting your documents from. Or if you're getting them from your computer, you can change it to computer, right? And then you can browse. What to do if you are, we haven't split a document yet. We have to split a document. Let's go do that. What's up, Ryan? How are we doing? right, let's split a document. Let's just upload that that form. Where is it? Right. Oh, okay, let's do that. So what you could do in this case to make it easier for yourself is, let's say it was the listing agent, or you're the listing agent, you need to upload all these documents, right? We got one PDF from the buyer's agent with everything ratified, and it's not separated, but as you can see here, everything is separated. So what do? You could go in DocuSign and split them. It's easy there too. I'd recommend doing that too. But what we can do here is we can click these three little dots again, and we can split and attach PDF. So what we do here is, this will be the source. I'm going to get it from DocuSign. I'm going to show the forms because I need to use the form. Let's look for that residential sales contract, because that's the one that has all the things I want to split. Then I'm going to click next. So now it's going to show us all the pages of the document that we want to split. So essentially, imagine this being the sales contract, the property disclosure, the appraisal contingency, finance contingency addendum, the home inspection contingency addendum. These are all in one document that we want to split. So first things first, we have to decide what are we going to attach. We're going to go ahead and attach the, where is the, all right, so I should not have attached the thing first. That's my bad. I just showed you what not to do. Don't do that. Don't do that. We want to split and attach first before you attach anything.
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
I'm just being hung up on the word split. When you mean split, you're talking about you only have, like, you got to send another page to your client to sign or initial off on. You're just talking about sending that one page to them. Is that correct?
That would be another reason to split. Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is you have one PDF that has 5 different forms,
Oh, all
addenda,
combined.
sales contracts, everything's combined into one, but for compliance, we have to split all that out and attach them separately. But all you have is the one PDF with everything together. So how do you do that quickly? So what I'm saying is you would go into DocuSign, if that is in DocuSign, or it could be on your computer, so you can take it from your computer. But in this case, I'm just taking it from DocuSign. I'm getting that, call it PDF, that has all the different addendums, sales contracts, and so forth that are together that I need to split apart to attach to all the different required items, right? So the first thing I need to attach is the residential sales contract. And that happens to be page 1 through 2, only because I only have 12 pages, so I'm going to upload multiple things. And then I put the page range of where that is. Normally that's going to be like 1 to 12, right?
Right.
So this is the sales contract. Then I'm going to attach the D4 property disclosure. That's next on the checklist, right? So that's going to be page 3, right? So then that's the D4. The only thing that takes a little bit more time is just labeling the documents. D4 prop disclosure, mind the spelling. I think that's right. All right, and then the next thing down, and it's going in order on these when I'm doing this drop down. Then we have our EMD. So that's going to be page 4, right? EMD, and I'm just going so on and so forth, right? And then we have our conventional financing contingency, and that's going to be page 5 to 6. And you have a pretty good idea because, we're just going in order of the pages. Does it let you copy and paste that? That would be nice if it just gave the document name that. So once you get all the pages split out, then it lets you split and attach, right? So then I would go and do the home inspection. So then let's just do 7 to 12. I think that's the full document now, isn't it? Yeah. Gotta give it a name. Name. Right, and then now it's highlighted in blue. We hit split and attach selected. Refresh your, it says up here, refresh your browser to see all that wonderful work that you just did. And what that did was it took that document that we had in DocuSign and it split it up and it put it into all those different spots for us. Pretty cool. And I gotta go through and remove them all, but so that I know that may seem, do it a couple of times, practice on a regular, like start an opportunity and just practice with it because it's actually very simple. But there is a few different drop downs and so forth just to get used to it, but it'll save you time. We just found that when we just had ratified sales contract in the under contract area, people were just putting the contracts, and even though there were addendums, they just weren't attaching all those things. So this was just what we had to do to make sure we were getting all the information. And see, it gave us a note saying that we did that. We created all these different, I don't know why I need a note for that, but it gave me one. Okay, compliance. Ta-da! You did it. Any questions?
No, I'm going to be starting. I have a new client, buyer client, that I'll just get all this stuff done in with DocuSign and get it set up that way.
Okay.
I'll
You already
practice.
have the buyer's agreement sent out to them?
Not yet. I'm going to today. I'm going to do that. So
Awesome.
this client is a Virginia State Trooper. So his work schedule is opposite everybody else. He does night from 10 until 10 p.m. till 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
So talking with him is a little difficult. So, or conversing with him. So I'm going to be sending stuff out to him here. We'll just work it out that way. So
You should ask him if he has like a get out of ticket card or something like that. I get that a lot.
well, what's funny is, well, I probably won't, but my caution is to everybody, if anybody's traveling 66, be careful because that's his route. And he's going to try to work. We're going to try to find him housing maybe in the Centerville area if his budget allows, and he's working with Jocelyn. So.
Oh, I'm dropping your name then, Marcia. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like, look, I know
right.
Marcia. She said I was good on this
Yeah.
road. I don't know. She said to
No,
talk to you.
Careful.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's what I got today. If you
All right.
missed anything or you want to go back and review it, it'll be on the YouTube channel, probably tomorrow.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah. So,
Okay, thanks.
all right, guys. Have a good one.